Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Start with Trip and Allie. Because Trip, Alright, so since this whole story about the Trip and Allie thing has started, I have been, I don't want to sit there and say defending Trip, but I've been the wait and see what kind of evidence starts. Wait and see what kind of evidence turns up before we just assume that he's done it. Because Allie was drunk when it happened. So I don't care if she's sitting there swearing up and down because you had alcohol in your system. So, that plays a factor into your memory, whether you want to admit it or not. It's not to sit there and say that she's lying, but I can't sit there and say 100% truth that... I can't say that she's telling the truth 100%. Also, you have to sit there and kind of remember with these whole he said, she said sort of scenarios that we're not there. And all we can sit there and do is either take the word of somebody or wait until some sort of evidence comes in. So with that being said, I've been like, alright, Trip, listen, I'm not sitting there saying that you didn't do it, but I'm not sitting there saying that you didn't do it either. So finally, after, let's just then say for a couple weeks now, because I feel like it's been going on that long, finally somebody's like, hey, let's do a DNA test. And at first I'm like, wow, so we're just now coming to this conclusion? We're just now doing this? Okay, that's okay. So Kayla's like, listen, let's just settle this once and for all. Let's just do a DNA test. Trip says something that I'm just like, what the Trip is like, I'll pass on the DNA test. I'm sorry, what? I had to rewind it a couple of times because I was like, nah, you know what? Maybe I just had a long day at work. And, people yelling all day, people yelling at me. Yeah, I just didn't really hear it right. And then I rewound it a couple of times and he still kept saying the same thing. And I'm just like, dude, up until this point, I've been on the fence about this whole you did or you didn't do it. And I'm just like, I'm not sitting there saying that you did do it, but that answer is not helping anyone. It's not helping me, and hell, it's not helping Steve. I don't care how much he wants to sit there and be like, I'm on your side, this, that, and the third. The look on his face when he said, I'm not going to do it, I'm like, bro, you're starting to lose your one champion. Your one guy, Steve. Like, so he walks off like the hothead that he is, and he walks right into Charlie and Claire. Now, Charlie and Claire had been talking for a while, blah, 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 just him being nice and whatever. And then, they see Trip, and automatically, Claire's like, you did it, I don't want any parts of you, this, that, and the third. And, Trip was like, well, you gotta sit there and listen to me. Like, you gotta just hear me out. And then, Charlie does something that I just didn't see coming. This man went from, 21, 15-year-old high school crush kind of guy on this girl to grown-ass man in, 5 seconds. This guy got up in his face and was just like... Because Trip was like, this is none of your business. It's not your problem. And the dude was like, I'm making it my problem. I was like, oh. God, I gotta sit down for this one. Hold on. This guy just had puberty. This is what this guy gotta say. I mean, I was like, where did this energy just come from? But anyway, this dude definitely got some teeth. I'll give him that much. he got in his face, and he was just like, "Yo, you need to leave. You need to get up out of here." And Trip was like, whatever, this, that, and third. He walked off. At this point, Steve is like, "Yo, listen, I got time for this. I got time for this nonsense, this teenage adolescent crap, whatever." So he got Trip's toothbrush, and he was like, "Yo, run a test." And, Kayla was all like, "Well, Trip doesn't want me to run it." Did you not just hear what Steve said? Steve said, "Run the damn test. Run the test." I don't understand why this is a debate. So Steve was like, listen, we need to just kind of just clear the air and just figure this whole thing out. So, he got the toothbrush, and Kayla goes to Claire's place. Damn it, Allie's place. Wow. Damn, it reminds me of the first time when I started reviewing this show, and I was just mixing up names left and right, and people at the bottom, the comment section was like, "Yo, bro, you got the wrong name." But anyway, Allie is having a hard time, just not just processing this whole thing, but also just dealing with Henry, because he's a product of. So she's having a tough time dealing with it, and she feels guilty about it. She feels sad. I feel bad for her. And here's the thing. Allie is a character that, I'm not gonna lie, she gets on my damn nerves. Alright? She gets on my nerves. She is the type of person that everyone's supposed to feel sorry for. Poor Allie this, poor Allie that. Constantly sit there walking on eggshells with her because she may snap at you at any point in time. She's annoying. With that being said, I do genuinely feel bad for her, because she doesn't want to feel any sort of ill malice or anything like that towards her child, but she feels like every time she looks at him, it takes her back to that night. So she's having these conflicting feelings and stuff like that. Anyway, they talk about it. She kind of works through it or whatever, and she decides to feed him. And then Kayla comes in, and Kayla's like, "Yo, listen, let's do a DNA test." Allie's like, "Yo, alright, there you go. Do what you gotta do. Let's get this over with." It's a damn mess. This is a damn mess. I'm just gonna sit there and leave it at that. Yeah, I talked about Charlie and Claire. All they was doing was really just sit there talking about Ciara being dead and blah 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 blah. Every time I hear the word Ciara's dead, this, that, and the third, I'm just like, so they already confirmed that they're switching actresses or whatever. She's leaving. They're gonna have a new actress. Because here's how I look at it. One, I'm pretty sure, I read it on SoapNet. SoapNet, not SoapNet, Soap Opera Digest. So that was already confirmed. But I always look at it like this. If there's no body, then there's always a chance of them bringing the character back. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, at this point, I think they're just done with the whole, twin scene or whatever, bringing her back as a twin, because after a while, it just doesn't work. Maybe that would have flied in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, but after that point, no. So, every time I hear Claire Smith, they're talking about Ciara's dead, this, that, and the third, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. I just look at it as like, damn, there's no body, you just gave up? Like, really? So we'll get to the last part, which is Sarah and Philip, as I like to call him, man-child. Listen, until this guy actually grows some balls and does something that proves that he's not a whiny, bratty little child, man child or whatever, I'm gonna call him man child. With that being said, you know, his whole plan was to sit there and, I guess, flirt with Sarah and you know, get Xander jealous. You know, he started talking or whatever, and you know, they're going back and forth about how he's lonely, he wants to find a girlfriend, and you know, you learn some more stuff about Sarah as far as like apparently she can sing. Now I say that like I'm surprised because I am. People who've been watching the show for a while, they probably know that she can sing or something. I don't know, but if you didn't know, now you know. She used to be a singer or whatever. Anyway, they get to talking and whatever, get to know each other, and Sarah puts her hand on Philip's lap, and I was just like, hold on. I was just like, what the hell are you doing? Okay, this whole thing started because, you know, Xander was going to be late, you know, late coming home or whatever because he was still at the office, and Sarah already made a bunch of food or whatever, and, you know, she's not going to let it go to waste because, you know, that's not what we do. That's not what we're supposed to do. And, you know, she invites Philip to, you know, eat with her or whatever. And at first I'm sitting there just, you know, they're talking and everything like that, and I was like, please tell me that you're not going to, like, in some sort of ways, hook up with man-child. Because I gotta tell you, you know, I used to always sit there, in the beginning I would sit there and say that, you know, she is classified to me as Hot Sarah. But, that status may go downhill pretty quickly if she hooks up with, man-child. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Because then at that point, you're just giving every man-child hope to actually going out with a woman like her. So, with that being said, Xander comes in, and, well, he ain't happy. And here's the thing about this Philip and Xander thing. The reason why Xander usually falls short of Philip most of the times throughout these confrontations is because Philip may not be, like, you know, manly man, or as far as, like, you know, attacking stuff with his fists or whatever, but he's smart. And the one thing about Xander is that he doesn't think. He's kind of a moron in that department. And so every single time with the whole Titan thing about him almost getting fired, you know, left and right, it's like you're letting this dude play you like a fiddle. He's constantly outsmarting you in nearly every turn. And so when Xander gets to the house, he goes off. Somehow, wine gets spilt on Sarah. And, you know, Xander chases after Sarah, saying, I'm sorry, this, that, and the third. Philip starts smiling. He talks to this guy, whatever, saying, you know, it was too easy. You know, I just had to sit there and, you know, push a little bit of buttons, and it worked, and so the Xander versus Philip thing continues, and that's literally where it ends. Wow. Yeah, that's literally where it ends. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this review of Days. Again, this whole thing about him not wanting to do a DNA test, because any person in their right mind would have been like, yes, let's do it. Let's get it out the way. Cool. I'm so glad that you thought of that, because for some odd reason, I didn't think of that. Like an idiot. Any person in their right mind would have been so quick to do it. The fact that he just walked off was like, bro, are you sick? Really? He just really... I'm literally watching. I was like, he really just walked out the door. What the hell is wrong with him? That's what I'm sitting there yelling at the TV about, like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? So, yeah. Wow. I gotta sit there and say, you know, the more this is going on, the more I'm starting to just chip away. Like, my defense towards Tripp is starting to... It's not very high at this point. It's not as high as it was when it first started. Now, granted, again, we weren't there. We don't know what happened. She was drunk. He's sitting there saying he didn't do it. She's saying that He did do it. I'm not going to believe either of them until this whole thing comes up. But Allie, again, is looking like a jackass, running around town, telling people that this happened without any context. John is going over, to Steve's house and attacking Trip because of that. Hell, literally, he started trying to attack Steve. Now, Steve is a badass, of course, because, and this wasn't going to work. But the point is, this whole thing is just spiraling out of control because she's just blurting this stuff out and people are taking sides. And Trip, again, is not helping with the way he's handling stuff, from going over Allie's house and now refusing a DNA test. So, I'll tell you the truth, I just, I keep listening to saying I'm wanting the story to just move past, and I'm reading in the comment section that people are listening to telling me that this is going to be kind of a unfortunate long one. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I kind of rambled longer than I wanted to, but I rambled on longer than I wanted to for time-wise, but, I really just, really couldn't keep that stuff in. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and, let me know what you think in the bottom in the comment section.